Well, when it comes to the World Cup of 2023, there seems to be logistical problems, there seems to be nightmares galore. Now, remember, just 100 days are left, less than 100 days are left for the World Cup, but already we are going to see a problem when it comes to the India versus Pakistan clash on October 15th in Ahmedabad. There are breaking news reports, and if there is a report in the Indian Express, if it is to be believed, the India versus Pakistan encounter in Ahmedabad on October 15th could be rescheduled. What is the main reason for it? The start of Navratri. Now, the start of Navratri means that security agencies have asked the BCCI to consider the option of rescheduling the India versus Pakistan encounter. Now, this is going to be a massive logistical blow for the BCCI and for the fans who are going to travel. Because already you look at it, when the schedule was announced in June, we had only 100 days left for the World Cup that will begin. Because of that, already hotel bookings, airfare travel, all of them have seen a massive surge. You have recently read a report also that has come in many of the news outlets that even hospital beds are being booked so that fans can see an India versus Pakistan encounter. Hospital beds. Now, if the reports are to be believed, that if the India versus Pakistan clash on October 15 could be rescheduled due to the start of Navratri and because of the security complications that comes, it is going to become an even bigger logistical nightmare. Because already what has happened? On October 15th, for the game, hotels and even homestays, even cheaper options have already been booked. Airfares, if you have to look at it from any city, it is the minimum rate for a round trip to Ahmedabad is 45,000. Now that is massive. Now, if the BCCI has no other option but to reschedule the India versus Pakistan game, you are going to see a logistical nightmare unfold. How on earth are you going to ensure that the hotels are once again rebooked? How are you going to ensure that the airfares will once again be stable? How will you ensure that the fans get what they want? How will the ticketing system now totally be revamped? Because remember, at the start of the World Cup schedule, when this was announced, Ahmedabad got 4 marquee games. One is the opener, England versus New Zealand. Then the other involved an Australia clash. But the main clash was India versus Pakistan. And remember, the final will also be held at the Narendra Modi Stadium in Ahmedabad. Because of this now, with Navratri starting, and also because the security agencies there have said having Navratra as well as the India versus Pakistan clash on the same day will present a security logistical nightmare for them. So they have requested the BCCI to reschedule the India versus Pakistan clash. But if that happens, what is going to be the logistical issues? This also begs the question as to when the BCCI and the ICC together, they decided to release a schedule. Did they not have the foresight to ensure that, this kind of situation does not crop up? Suddenly, at this point in time, how come the BCCI have managed to wake up and say, perhaps we may have to reschedule? Remember, nothing is confirmed, but there is a report floating around, and it's a very credible report that the BCCI might have to reschedule the India versus Pakistan clash on October 15th. When we all knew that it was the start of Navratra and it was the start of all the other festivities that is happening. Remember, all the festivals that are there in India this time around, everything is late. Raksha Bandhan is late, Janmashtami is late, Navratra is late, Dashera, and even Diwali is late. Diwali is around the semi-final time in India. So, how on earth did the BCCI manage to overlook this particular aspect of it? And that is why it's a massive problem. Now, the logistical, as I've said, a round trip ticket to Ahmedabad at this time, it is estimated to be 45 to 50,000. That is how airfares are profiteering at this point in time. Hotels are already booked. Homestays, cheaper hotels are also booked. That is why even hospital beds are now being booked. This is the frenzy, this is the craze that is there for an India versus Pakistan clash now. All have said, mark your date, October 15th. You have all done lives, you have all done stories, say, oh yes, October 15th is the date. But now there is a serious threat that the October 15th game might not happen. There, the India versus Pakistan match might have to be rescheduled to some other date. There are problems galore for the BCCI on both the fronts, even for the ICC, because if they reschedule the date, how on earth are you going to manage the logistical operations, air tickets, hotel tickets, stadium operations, ticketing systems? This is a massive, massive problem indeed. Now, if the date is still kept, how are you going to manage the security logistics, because Navratra is about to start? And you know that Navratra in Ahmedabad is a massive feat. There will be millions of people in the various grounds of it, which adds a different dimension to the city of Ahmedabad. If that is also happening at the same time, how on earth are you going to ensure that security wise everyone is safe? Now, many people who are joining us right now are asking us why there is a chance of a rescheduling. I'll tell you why. Because there have reports emerged that the security agencies have told the BCCI to reschedule the India versus Pakistan clash because of Navratra, because of the start of Navratra in that period. Remember, October 15th is the date. They want to now ensure that because of the security complications, if it's the first day of Navratra, it's a massive thing. And that is why now they want to reschedule the date. But now, with the ticket sales also not been released, there is a major problem. Now we are getting to figure out as to why the ticketing sales have not started. Because remember, after the announcement of the schedule, everybody were wondering when are the tickets going to come out. We all thought July first week, July second week, but now it is almost the end of July. The tickets have still not yet been released, which means that the BCCI and the ICC are thinking about possibly mulling or about tweaking the entire schedule. About India versus Pakistan, I'm saying. So if the tickets have not yet been released, that means the date for the India versus Pakistan clash might be tweaked. So because of the start of the Navratra festivities, maybe the India versus Pakistan match might be rescheduled. So there is no official confirmation as of yet, but there are credible reports doing the rounds that India versus Pakistan dates, it is really going to be a big issue. Now, the millions of questions will be asked about the BCCI and the ICC. Did they not have the foresight to think that, oh, Navratra start, it could be a logistical nightmare? Couldn't they have analyzed that, okay, security could be stretched, that's why we can reschedule it to some other date? Why were all these options not considered? And the worst part is, if the game is rescheduled, when is it going to be rescheduled? Because the problem is there is a short turnaround time for all of India's games. 8th October is India versus Australia. 11th October is also India are playing a game. Then October 15th it's India Pakistan. October 18th is India Afghanistan. October 22 is New Zealand. October 25 is England. October 29th there is some other match. November 5 is also South Africa. How on earth are you going to reschedule the entire encounters now? Because one reschedulement will mean India's travel is also getting impacted. India's maximum gap is just about 4 days per match. How on earth are you going to then reschedule one match and then throw the entire logistics operation out of the window? Now, Adarsh Jaiswal, yes, Adarsh Jaiswal, this will be a huge loss for the people who already made their bookings. I mean, come to think about it. Already your ticket rates have been booked. Okay, you've booked your airfare, which is already 45,000. Now you have to cancel that and then reschedule and then book your hotel rooms also. That is also rescheduled. There is no guarantee that you'll get those hotel rooms. And if you get it, it will be at a very exorbitant rate. If that happens, once again, the same old issue. The BCCI, the Indian Cricket Board, does not care for the Indian fan. That problem is going to come up soon. So it is a massive problem that we have faced at this rate. I am sorry. If the BCCI has overlooked this particular aspect when they are going to announce the schedule, if they didn't know that the Navratra start is about to happen, then I'm sorry, they have not looked at the bigger picture whatsoever. We hope that there is a solution to it and that the matches is not rescheduled. But if it is rescheduled, then Indian fans, Indian cricket fans, I am sorry, you are going to face a lot of logistical nightmares. Hotels, flights, ticket rates, all three prepare to shell out a massive fortune for it. Because remember, if you want to be in Ahmedabad, you'll have to at least be there for 3 days. Hotel rates at that time can go to well over 40 to 50,000. Plus your airfare will also be 40 to 50,000. And your ticket rate will be different. So be prepared to shell out 1.5 lakhs at least if you want to go to the India versus Pakistan game. And I'm saying 1.5 lakhs primarily out of the normalcy. October 15th, if the date remains. If it is not normal, then be prepared to shell almost double that amount, because hotels are doing the profiteering bit, so are airlines. They are milking the situation and ensuring that the Indian cricket fan has a nightmare to endure. So, this is the current situation for people who are joining us now. The India versus Pakistan match, there are credible reports going around that it might be rescheduled. Why? Because security agencies have advised the BCCI, reportedly advised the BCCI to ensure that it does not clash because of the start of the Navratra celebrations. It might prove to be a logistical nightmare. That is the situation that they are facing at this point. So already there was criticism that the schedule was too, you may say it was very close. I mean, you just announced it when there were 100 days left. Now you are facing the prospect that, oh, maybe because of Navratra, we didn't look at this aspect, and that is why you may have to reschedule it to some other date. If you reschedule it, the Indian cricket team and the Indian cricket fan are in for a logistical nightmare. One major reason, the turnaround time for India's matches is very little, maximum of 4 days per match. Then for the Indian fan, if he or she has already booked the tickets and the hotel rooms, how on earth are you going to reschedule and how much money will they have to shell out? That is a major problem. Now Rahul Kayal is saying, well, Rahul, I will not say that, okay, they're not obsessed with playing a match in Ahmedabad. After all, it's a 1,20,000 capacity stadium. So most of the marquee games were expected to go there. Mumbai, all the venues are getting their due. But the problem is, how could the BCCI have overlooked the thing that Navratra is about to begin? It could present a security nightmare. So, this is going to be a massive issue. Now we may have a clear understanding as to why the ICC World Cup tickets have not yet come out. Maybe this schedule could be tweaked. Nitesh, venue will be changed or date will be changed? Most likely, Nitesh, it will be the date. The venue will not change. I mean, India versus Pakistan, Ahmedabad, that is going to be the venue, that is 101% confirmed. The date might be changed. Now, if the date is changed, it is going to be a big problem for all the Indian cricket fans and for the Indian cricket team. So, for people who are joining us now, there might be a situation when the India versus Pakistan match could be rescheduled because the start of the India-Pakistan match coincides with the start of the Navratra festivities. And because of the Navratra festivities, the security situation might be very complicated indeed. We'll be following the story on a regular basis. Whatever updates are there, we will come to it. Thank you so much, folks, for joining us for this live. We'll be back with more updates on sports today. Tap that bell icon so you know when we go live. And don't forget, we are on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram as well. Thank you.